Alright, camera angle looks good. Yeah, I tried making this video like at least 2 times before. It didn't work. There's complications, but my topic today, which I'm just gonna go on another spew. This is not prepared, so get ready for it. If it doesn't make any sense, that's why. But what my topic is today is the energy in the air is changing. It's different. So what do I mean about that? Well, it's kind of self-explanatory because, well, the energy in the air is changing. It's different, with the constant flux of technology and imports of new ideas and different beliefs colliding with other people's beliefs and religions and ideas and the view of the world, how what's the best solution for humanity in general. Um, I think, with technology and different access, easier ways of access to import ideas on humanity, and how humanity is very, I don't know, explain the word, we're very sensitive to different ideas. There's a better word to say it, but I don't remember it. But yeah, then I think that's kind of why people are more on edge to other people's ideas and maybe don't want to get the constant acknowledgement of maybe there's something else, there's a different storyline, maybe the rabbit hole goes deeper this time. We don't know. But yeah, even with the technology or without the technology, these days there's just everything, there's something new. The way we move now is like fast that it's almost like time doesn't make any sense because I don't know, like 2020 was like 2 years ago. That's kind of crazy if you think about it, because people are still talking about that year because it must have had a big effect on reality as we know it. That year really didn't make any sense whatsoever. But obviously, I'm just still going on a rant. Yeah, but things are changing. I think our reality, our perception of reality is changing. The way people interact and see each other is changing, the way people communicate. Even if just going into the grocery store just to do normal tasks or do your taxes, or going to do anything, literally just to hang out with friends. Hey, let's meet up. It's almost like it's more difficult than ever. We have this massive thing of constant knowledge on this device, on these devices we have, and we have constant different ways of messaging and communicating with others, like message, Instagram, the Facebook, your phone, through YouTube, which I'm doing right now. But people are more disconnected than ever, I see, for some reason. You might think the technology might be helping in that, but honestly, I think it's a loophole where the solution is, we think it's going to be easier, but there's a certain point where it gets too easy to the point where it actually make things harder. And what does that even mean? Well, I don't even know myself, but what I kind of mean about that is, say, how am I supposed to explain this? Say there's one friend and there's another friend. This friend texts this friend, and they live like right next to each other. Just say that, right? Hypothetically, they live next to each other. They're friends. He texts that other friend, and then this friend, he takes a little bit too long to answer. And maybe this friend thinks, oh man, there's something going on. I don't think he wants to hang out today. Or he saw the message, he couldn't understand it, what he was trying to say, even though he just say let's hang out. But maybe he's busy, maybe he doesn't understand, maybe he accidentally saw it but didn't click it. We don't know. So this person thinks this person doesn't want to hang out, even though this person might not even know they got that text yet. But back in the day, the person would literally just like either call them, which people do less of off. Another loophole to make things easier. People do less calling because you might think it might be harder because you have to talk instead of just putting a little tiny message on with letters to like put out to people, and then like, oh, okay. But in the long run, it's actually detrimental. I can't. God, that was a terrible way of saying that. Detrimental to communicating because it's actually making things harder. But yeah, I think my TV's going on in the background. I think that's the noise. But yeah, it's definitely making things harder. In the long run, it's not going to be good. It would be more beneficial to actually go out and get communication skills, which I don't have. and actually call and interact with people, because in the long run it's actually going to make things easier. This person back in the day, you could have just went to this person's house instead of texting them, or just fucking called them on the house phone or whatever phone they had back in the day with, the buttons and then the flip phones. It probably would have been easier. They're like, hey, you want to hang out? If they don't answer, they don't answer. It probably means they don't want to hang out. But 9 times out of 10, if they usually have their phone on them back in the day, they're probably going to end up answering out of curiosity who's calling, and then they'll give them the answer straight up: no, yes, no. So yeah, I think it was a little bit easier the way the simplistic Jesus, I can't say the word simplistically, the way we interacted with the technology and how simple it was actually making things easier. Obviously, I'm just going on a little tangent here. That's barely even one of the things I can even tap into. I can go on for another 11 minutes, which I am. So get ready for this. Yeah, so how am I supposed to explain this? Let me think real quick. Okay, I have another topic. I am back. And what's it called? Another idea we could put out there. So back in the day, the teachers, they would teach. Obviously, it's different now because how people treat each other, get paid, or whatever is totally different. But now they just give the kids computers, which I did that, and say if it's in a math class and you're doing algebra 2, you have your computer on your desk, and usually the teacher back in the day, he would go on the board, he would show you. They still do that now. My teacher would go on the board back in the day, and then he would write down, and then he'd say, okay, pull your computers out, you guys get it. Here's another idea. You guys understand what pi is. You guys understand how to do multiplication, subtraction, and divide your answers after, and how to self-check your answers to make sure you're correct, and all those other things. They're not fun whatsoever. I don't know if you guys like math. I don't like math. It's too complicated. But even that's not even enough help, because you're just, other than those 5 minutes of him explaining at the end of the board, it's not going to click thoroughly, because people forget that. Because most of the time in the classroom, they're just on the computer and they're typing, and then they're doing the answers. And then most of the time, when they get the answer wrong, it doesn't show them or really help them until it's too late, and you already have 2 strikes out, because you only get 2 tries within the class I had for multiplication, or algebra, whatever you want to call it, the things online for how math is today. And then then you get striked out. It shows you after how to do it, but it's kind of too late, because before that they give you a totally different thing you have to solve. But in the beginning, they give you like another option with like a different numbers, so they don't give you the answer, obviously. And then afterwards, they give you the same answer, but when it's already too late and you already got everything wrong. And then after that, it changes, so you don't get like a. It would be better just to have it give you the answers first off, and it's almost like a robot is working with you at the same time. It's like, okay, now what do you do next? And then you put your answer down, and it says yes, wrong, right. And then after that, it shows you how to do it, and then you make a guess, and then when you don't get it, and then it shows you, and then eventually you'll probably get it, because there's like a formula, and you write it down, and then you understand it. But yeah, it doesn't do that within the classes for like math. Obviously, that's like a beginning when you start it up, and you're supposed to get a new topic. Like you get a topic like immediately after the algebra or whatever, different equations, a way of solving things, and you get it like right after. Usually the teacher, he spends some time on the one thing, and after that he goes to the next thing, and then he goes in a whole explanation like how like a robot would work on you with the computer, even though it doesn't work like that on the computer. And then the teacher helps you and you solve it, and you're able to ask questions, certain specific questions you can't do on a computer. And then after that, he lets you go and try it on your own. Computers, you don't do that. You go right into the next topic, and then you don't understand it, because you got only like a little page where you just slid through right real quick. You look through, obviously you write it down in your notes, but it's not enough, because you only looked at it for a brief second, wrote it down, and then you only have enough class time to do so much, because usually it depends on if you do it at home or on the computer. Usually they just have you do it on the computer at the schools, but now with the Zoom, now everything's changing, so they just let you do it anywhere because everyone's failing. Let's be honest. Yeah, and then you didn't get enough time to even do it because you're just too busy writing it down, and you're just too busy looking at the slide. You're like, okay, I got to get this thing done, and then you get it all wrong, and you get the 2 tries, you get it and strike out, and then you have to do it over again, and it gives you another example how to do it, but it's a totally different equation, and then you go to a different equation, which it has the same formula, but it changes because they're different numbers, and you get it wrong again, and then it has to show you how to do it. Usually I would think a robot working with you, or even a person, would probably be the best solution, because the teachers, that's what they're supposed to do. They're supposed to be working with you. I think it'd be good to mix technology with people in some degree. Maybe more people now than ever than technology, but it'd probably be better just to use it with people, and then use technology to work with you and with the people. That's yeah, my bad. Camera cut out, but yeah, that's all I wanted to say. It's just there's different the way we use technology. We think it's helping, but in the long run, it's actually making things worse. That was just one of my points. I was going a whole spew talking about math equations, but instead I could have just talked about more topics. But I'll save that for next time. All right. Yeah, come see my shitty videos again. I'll see you next time.